It's not a strict beat. Is that okay?
Ballroom dancing. Sometimes I feel like in my life I just fall ass backwards into things, and I think ballroom dance was one of those instances. My brother is a ballroom dancer as well, and a right now measurably better ballroom dancer. We've only competed with each other once, and it was at this year's Twin Cities Open. So it's me and my partner Jessica, and when you're on a competition floor ballroom dancing, it feels very personal when there's only one other couple. So they beat us in every dance in 2 rounds, but they didn't beat us by a lot. They beat us by a little bit. Once upon a time, I saw on some advertisement that there was newcomer night at Dancer's Studio here in St. Paul, and newcomer night is like, oh, totally free, come try out ballroom dancing. And it was fun, but I was actually thinking that it was more of like free practice time, less of free, we're going to run a lesson and everyone's sort of going to be directed. I was kind of unhappy with it, and I was changing shoes, and the owner of the studio, Shinya McHenry, came up to me. He says, you do some great dancing there. You ever thought about doing this more? I was like, are you gonna make me an offer? And yeah, so we met the next day at 1 o'clock. It was Monday, for some reason, in my story. Yes, we met on the next Monday at 1 o'clock, and we talked, and he basically opened up a world of information, and yeah, that's been a really fortunate thing in my life. There's not very many times I remember being really lucky. This is one of those times. Once upon a time, I worked in a puppet factory. I sewed giraffe puppets. I assisted in sewing 50,000 giraffe puppets for baby Einstein. And they were bath puppets, and they're made out of this material called vellum. And we'd have mountains and mountains of vellum, because 50,000 giraffe puppets take an awful lot of vellum to make. And I was on the sewing line. I ended up there because I was landscaping for Claire, who was a friend of a friend's mom. And she was like, I need landscaping done, who can do it? And I was like, I can wield a shovel and a pick. So I was working for her, and she was like, oh, we're never gonna get this order done in time. We just need more people sewing. I'm like, I can sew, because I have been doing it at home. And she was like, can you really? Can you run a machine? I'm like, yes, I can. She's like, when do you want to start? I'm like, now. And she's like, well, 4 a.m. tomorrow, you can carpool with another fellow named Nick. And so we drove up there, and we listened to Journey all the way, and I think we ended right about at the point where he goes on and on and on and on to strangers waiting. And we're like, I remember turning off the car, and I'm just like, wow, we're in a dark place in the middle of nowhere outside of Sturgis, South Dakota. I don't remember the exit 37. Strangers